Hey everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 299, recorded on Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. And on this episode, we're going to be talking all about the recent events that just dropped today, this week. So many different events that we're going to be covering, and also kind of looking to the future and what's going to be coming to the Switch very, very soon. My name is Steve, but of course, I'm not here just to talk about this all by myself. That'd be pretty boring for you all. I'm also joined by my co-hosts, Barry and Greg. Barry, how you doing?
Hey Steve, hey everybody. Doing good. It's been a busy day for sure, but just a busy time. Lots to talk about, lots of good gaming news, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Greg's all in his new house now, getting that new house smell.
Exactly, yeah. It doesn't get any better than the new house smell. Yeah, so I got a different background now. I'll probably eventually be painting the walls and everything behind me, and I was in process of assembling a storage shelf unit to properly display some of my game stuff, because the ones I have there now are barely even the height of my chair, so you can't even see anything behind me right now. So there might be a few instances of green and like the one sign and box that I had from my office at the other house, but that's about it there. Um, and thankfully, that's about all I've really mostly been up to the last few weeks, outside of a few games. But I'll let you continue your intro.
Sure. Yeah, it's been a busy day, and we've got lots to talk about. And I didn't catch anything because I've been also had my own busy day. So I'm going to be learning a lot tonight on this episode, right alongside our community. Speaking of the community, we've got a live chat going as well. So glad to have you guys join in. So we stream this podcast as we record it every other Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. We'd love for you guys to have to subscribe to us so you can join us when we go live. We do stream on both Twitch and YouTube, so if you've never caught us live, please do that. And follow us on social media. We're at NintendoFuse. And of course, we have a Discord that we would love for you to join as well. Link, all those links are going to be in our show notes and also the YouTube description as well. We'd love to have you over there. Subscribe, follow, all those things, like the video. All those things really do help us. It's not just something that we ask for just because we want to have your likes, but it really does help us because it helps the podcast be seen by other people and promoted in all the algorithms and all that sort of thing. You share this with other Nintendo fans. It helps our community just get even better and better. So thanks for doing that, and thanks for jumping in the live chat. We've got Kajimi, we've got Jakester, we've got some other people. Zev Zero's in the chat. So thank you guys for jumping in. As always, you are our collective fourth member of the podcast. And so everything that we talk about, we want to hear your thoughts. We want to read your thoughts in the chat, and we will refer to them as much as we can throughout the episode. So big programming announcement. If you didn't catch it yet, if on our social media or you didn't catch it in our last episode, next episode is our 300th episode. And it also happens to be our 15th anniversary of the podcast. So that's pretty exciting. And to celebrate, we want to celebrate with you. And so here's what we're doing. We're going to leave some things to be surprised when you join us. If you never joined us live, that you need to join us live for this next one. So you can listen to after the fact, you can watch after the fact, that's fine. But for the next one, you really should be joining us live because we're going to do some giveaways, and there are also going to be some people that are going to be joining us for the podcast via audio or video messages, and we want that to be you. We want to include you in our celebration. And so if you've been joining us for the podcast, you've been a part of this community, you've listened to us or watched us for years and years and years, or if you just tuned in to this one, this is the first episode you've ever listened to or you've ever watched, we want to include you. And so you can send in something written, something audio, or something video. We'll leave it up to you. We would love to have video. We'd love to feature you, but if you don't want to be featured, your face and privacy or whatever, that's totally okay. You can write it in or do audio, but we want to know your thoughts. Like if there's some episode or some moment that's really stood out to you over the years, or you have some memory from past years you want to talk about, or if something has really meant a lot to you from the podcast, or maybe you've been with us for since the very beginning and you want to talk about that. We would love to hear your thoughts, memories, all those different things. We're going to feature those in our next episode. So send those in by October 4th. So you got about a week and a half to do that. We're going to feature you on October 8th will be our next podcast, and we want to feature you there. You can just send those in to podcast@nintendofuse.com. So that's the way to do that. That way we get the highest quality video and all that stuff instead of texting or Discord or whatever. We want to get the best quality of your stuff. So podcast@nintendofuse.com is where to send it. And we'd love to feature you and get excited to celebrate in the episode for episode 300 and 15 years of doing this podcast. We'll save all our memories for the next episode. But we'll do some giveaways as well. So that's why you want to be there live to join in all of that. But it's now time for episode 299. We're not yet to 300. So on episode 299, we're going to be, of course, talking about what we have been playing and all these different events. But Greg, how about you kick us off with what you've been playing over the last couple weeks in the middle of moving houses, of course.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't done a ton of playing games, so this is probably my shortest list yet. And then obviously, Steve's going to have a lot more to talk about than even I do on this particular episode. So, unless I could just fill it up with some filler chat and talk about shelves that I've been assembling and furniture and how many boxes I've moved and how many rooms are unpacked or anything like that, then I don't know if I'll be very long here. But so pretty much the primary game that I did play on the Switch this time around was Elsie. There was a game chat that I missed because I wasn't able to play the game in time. I didn't get a ton of time with the game, so I don't really have even that much to even offer my full-on review of it. But it was kind of interesting from what I did play. I did notice a few things that were kind of at least problematic to me. Like when you there's not really a lot of ways to recover health, or at least I didn't find any. And then pretty much if you die, then it feels like it's like a roguelike, and then the map changes. So it was like an initial tutorial level that it was telling you how to jump and you can go through platforms. And then the second tutorial was much harder. It was like doing all these parrying moves and stuff. And I had a number of issues trying to get that to work. So that was a lot of fun trying to figure that part out, but I didn't get terribly far through the repeated rounds of that second tutorial round.
Greg, have you watched our game chat yet about that?
Not yet. I didn't want to be spoiled on souring my experience.
You'll find it pretty funny in your quick summary and what Barry and I said.
Yep.
Maybe will sound pretty familiar.
Well, geez, it almost sounds like I listened to it and just echoed it right off the bat. But
almost, which is really funny. Really funny
It's
that
funny
you
to
didn't
get
listen
that.
to it. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the primary Switch game that I played, but I have been keeping up with some of the mobile games with my daughter on Roblox, and then I'm still trucking away at the Simpsons Tapped Out here and there. Even I was not very active even in that one just because of the time and getting the internet all set up and ready to go. And then it actually looks like we'll be changing internet service providers on Thursday. So that's been a lot of fun trying to get all that stuff situated and being good there. But I did order a TV for my office space, so that will be pretty nice to have to set up in the near future as well, along with my display cases that will be behind me for podcasts and videos and stuff.
Cool.
That's pretty much all I've been up to.
Nice. Well, that's exciting though. Cool. Looking in the chat, if you haven't yet, let us know what you've been playing. We've got a lot of congratulations, which is really cool to see through as well. We've also got Almost Sleek is joining us, I think for the first time. Joined us by Fuse. So we are over on Fuse, not to be confused with NintendoFuse, but it does come in handy. But thanks for joining us. Yeah, be sure to let us know what you've been playing. We'll call it out as well. Barry, what have you been up to? Seems like a lot.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a lot. So a lot of it's smaller stuff though. So on the Switch, I'm still doing Pokemon Unite and Star Wars Hunters, which just started the third season today. So I got my Ewok riding the AT-AT that they advertised in the last Nintendo Direct. They also raised the cap of all the hunters, so there's a lot to do. But I'm just still playing, doing just a few matches every day and just having fun with it. Obviously, for the game chat and post game chat, I did go back to Elsie, and I used Steve's little trick of invincibility, and I had a lot more fun with the game. And then I got to a point where I bought the double jump because I'm like, that would be helpful. And then the next run, I didn't have the double jump anymore, but in the shop it said it was purchased. And I'm like, well, how do I use it? How do I equip it? Where is it? Is it a one-time thing and that's it? That doesn't make sense. And I got frustrated because I couldn't access things I bought and there was no explanation. I couldn't even buy it again for like another run. So that turned me away again. But I did beat it, I think, 3 or 4 more times, bought a bunch of upgrades. But it definitely invincibility mode made it a lot more fun. But yeah, it's a fun game. I just again, which you should definitely check out our game chat. But I feel a lot of like just explanation of what's going on or how things work would make the game 10 times better. Also for game chat, I did Uno Ultimate Edition, which you can check out when that goes live here soon, as well as Uemasu Pretty Derby Party Dash, which is also that one's up now. There's a game chat for that. I played a game called Ghoul Boy. It was $1.99 on the eShop. I was like, oh, this looks like a Castlevania style game. I'll play it, and I have it on the Vita physically, but I'm like, oh, $1.99, whatever. It was all right. It wasn't great. Not necessarily regretting my decision, but I'm also not championing the game. Played a game called Rail Break, which is like a House of the Dead style on rail shooter. A lot of curses. I was surprised. I had to turn that thing down real quick. The F bombs were very, very infrequent in that game, but it was a lot of fun. A game that I don't think anyone would ever hear me talk about in 2024 is Starlink Battle Battle for Atlas, because I went back to that because I never did the Star Fox missions because they were only DLC. I was waiting to see if they were going to do something, and it was on sale, so I got the digital version because I can't be asked at this point to dig out all those figures. And it was like stupid cheap on sale. So I did that and bought the Star Fox character. So I did the Star Fox, the extra DLC missions. I had done the ones that came with the game, but I figured by now we would have a new Star Fox game. We haven't, so I got my Star Fox fix that way.
It's
Game's
so
still a lot
good.
of fun. It is it's still the best
Yeah.
Star Fox game. I will stand by it. I know not everyone likes Ubisoft and may not care about all the extra characters, but I swear that is still the best Star Fox game we've gotten, and I hope to see more. There was a demo for Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven that dropped. So I'd give it a try, and I really liked it. It was better than I expected. It's the remake of 2. The demo carries over. It's the prologue. Um, my only problem with the demo is just as it starts to get really good, it ends. It's like, oh, now you got to wait for the full game. But I do recommend giving it a shot because it's a free demo. And then my biggest thing that I sunk all my hours into the past 2 weeks are future game chats, which are the Sam and Max games. We've got 3 of them to review. 3 of them just came out, or one of them just came out, but 2 of them previously came out remastered on the Switch. And then a Sam and Max Save the World remastered, Sam and Max Beyond Time and Space remastered, and Sam and Max The Devil's Playhouse remastered. Fantastically funny. These are Telltale games. These are like, if you like Life is Strange or Walking Dead or any of the Telltale games, you'll absolutely love these. They're a lot of fun. So I went through and I played 16 episodes back to back to back, which is a lot to do, but I did it. So I'm ready for game chat. So look forward to future ones of those. But that was a lot of time. Thankfully, my son really enjoyed it because it's a cartoon, and my wife liked me playing it, so I did that. On the NSO side, I did mess around with Battletoads Double Dragon on SNES, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. God, I forgot that game controls like ass and is not very fun. And maybe I have to reconfigure because the buttons are just not responsive. I did not have a good time. I enjoyed the Game Boy version better, and they'll probably never hear me say that about another game. But I did, speaking of Game Boy, I did go on the GBA and I played some Starfy 1, which we never got, and it's a lot of fun. I just wish I could understand what anyone's saying, and I don't feel like holding up my phone to every line of dialogue. Nintendo, you could have just there's fan translation patches. Just, I'm sure any of them would have just said, "Here, please use it for free."
Yeah.
Instead, you can get the platforming, but you have no idea what's going on. On the PS5 side, I beat Astrobot. I had a interesting story which I told only Steve.
Mhm.
But apparently Astrobot, and this is a warning to everybody, does not really feature an autosave. It doesn't. Then and the only way that I was able to save was to back out to my title screen. And I learned this when I booted up the game and I had the fifth world to do, and I beat the fifth world, and then I had the Lost Galaxy to do, and I was 1.5 levels away from completing everything in the Lost Galaxy, probably 20 minutes away from beating the game, because then I just had the final boss. Had every single bot, every puzzle piece, was all good to go, and the power went out in my house. And when I booted it back up, when we got power back, it had reset my entire progress for the entire day. I had to do the whole fifth world over again 100%. I had to do the whole Lost Galaxy again 100%. I was furious, and I still platinumed the game. It is a great game, but man, every few levels back out of the title screen. Save yourself the trouble. Don't have what I had, because you never know. PC side, still doing Final Fantasy 14. Been playing that actually quite a bit more while there's no big game that I'm really heavy in right now. And on mobile, still doing Mario Kart Tour and the New York Times games.
Nice. Man, there is so much chat going on tonight. It's awesome, but I'm probably going to be missing some of you guys. So if I didn't call you out, let me know. But looks like Almost Sleek says he's been playing Inazuma 11 Victory and the Road Demo Bebe.
Victory Road is the name of the game.
Oh, it's all together. Okay. It's separated in different lines for me. I just thought it was separate ones. So Inazuma 11 Victory Road. Okay, the demo. Nice. I've never played an Inazuma 11 game. We've talked about this before on previous episodes because, like, you guys were like, "Oh, it's soccer," and like, yeah, but it's like I don't know. I still don't like. I don't know if I get into it. I like playing soccer. I don't know if I like the story stuff with it. But clearly, it's really popular with a lot of people. Jakester started Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher. He said it's a fun game. First time playing a Monster Rancher game, which was has a great community. Finished Super Paper Mario, which was just okay. Good story. Gameplay is meh. Then Kajimi says loving Star Wars Hunters. Wants to know who's your favorite character is. I have only played it a little bit of it. I can't remember who I played as. But do you have a favorite character, Barry?
Right now, I've been mainly using Graz, and when it caps at 25, or it did cap at 25, it kind of sucked because it was like I want to use my favorite characters, but I really should spend time on other characters to level them up. Now you can go up to like 55 plus, so it doesn't matter. Reeve is also fun. I like Reeve. She's the Sith lightsaber user. Aaron Toll, the Mandalorian, is fun, and Irma, the bounty hunter, is also fun.
Okay.
Those are probably Sentinels. Probably rounds out my top 5.
Irma, I think that's who I'm playing because I picked the bounty hunter. I just forgot her name.
Irma's the one that starts with.
Yeah,
I think it's Sprocket, which is the Mon Calamari in the chair, is probably my favorite support at this point. Like I just really like him
nice.
as well.
Looks like Gaming Mechanics says most of my Switch collection is retro and re-releases, so he's been playing a lot of Capcom Street Fighter collection. Awesome. Greg, have you still haven't played any of the Capcom games? So sad. Marvel vs. Capcom, such a great game.
Steve still hasn't played Xenoblade Chronicles.
Neither of you. So.
Both of you fail. Steve,
I know. I just had to get a jab in at Steve. I knew I was sinking my own ship with that one, but I just.
And Barry hasn't played. Wait, what game do we realize that Barry hasn't played? Oh, I forget it now. Shoot.
It doesn't exist.
It was like our super common game too, and I totally forgot what it was.
Doesn't exist.
We made a short on our YouTube channel because I made it a short because I thought it was so funny. We finally found a game you haven't played. Zev Zero said I've been playing Visions of Mana. Almost have it beat as well. Almost Sleek also said Samurai Bringer, and Zev Zero Romancing Saga 2 demo was great. Let's see. I think that looks like what everybody's been playing as well. Oh, and Jakester's been playing Epic Mickey. Oh, sorry, it was Epic Mickey that he was answering my question. Yes, because Barry hasn't played Epic Mickey.
I have not played Epic Mickey.
Thank you so much, Jakester, for remembering that.
You're dead to me.
Man.
So that means he
Man.
also hasn't played this. He hasn't played the second one either. Then most
The
likely.
second
so.
one I've heard is terrible though, so I have not.
I would disagree. I don't think it's terrible. I think the first one's better, but the second one, I don't think the second one's terrible. But hey, didn't it just come out today? Is
Yeah,
that
it
right?
did.
Today?
Amazon still hasn't even shipped mine.
Nice.
So good job, Amazon. Thanks for pre-ordering with you.
I've got it on digital. They ended up sending me a code. Unfortunately, only one. But I didn't get a chance to play
for
it.
more.
Oh, I've been asking. Disney's stingy. But yeah. What have I been playing? I've been playing yet another one that they didn't send me multiple codes. But I have been playing Yars Rising, and I am. How do I describe my experiences with Yars Rising? It is a whole lot easier of a platformer than I expected, but then it's basically a game that has this interesting. I wouldn't call it a childlike story, but it's childlike-ish story that goes along with it. That's interesting. But it's really a way to get you to play Yars, a revenge. And so like you hack into the mainframe of these computers and you play Yars Revenge to hack into the computer, which is kind of fun. And so I'm having fun, but it's like the Yars Revenge level, like the hacking is difficult because Yars is not an easy game. But then the Yars Rising platforming pieces are kind of pretty easy. So like it's like stealth. And if you're not watching, I'm definitely air quotes stealth levels that you have to get around these guards, these robot guards, and they're the easiest thing to get around. And if they see you, they take forever to swing or shoot or whatever. You basically just lose a little bit of part of your life and you move on. So it's not that difficult of a game for that part of it. But the Yars Rising, like the hacking part, is really fun, and they've done some new ways of playing that. So yeah, I'm having fun with it. But I'll report more as I play more of that and have a more full review in the future. I played a little more of Iron Meat because I hadn't beaten the game at the time of our game chat, and so I went back and beat the game, the rest of it. For some reason, I don't think it saved where I was the last time either, so I had to go back and replay like an entire level, which is not that big of a deal. But beat the game and on easy, and yeah, it was still enjoyable. I stand by what I said in the game chat. As Barry said, we played some Uma Muma Sume, Pretty Derby Party Dash, which in the game chat you'll see that I butcher that name every time I say it. But yeah, that you can check out all those thoughts in our game chat. Played some Buzzed, which we also talked about on a game chat. Really fun game. Also Uno Ultimate Edition, which will be coming out on a game chat really soon. But yeah, sneak peek of what we talked about. Barry and I actually enjoyed it a lot. And then, of course, played a little Rocket League. Not as much as I've talked about on previous episodes. Playing less and less of Rocket League lately, just because they've made some small updates, but not a whole lot of big ones yet. So, and then Jakester, maybe Steve shouldn't do game chats of games he can't pronounce. Yeah, there's a lot. So that takes out like half the games out there. And then been playing a lot more of Clash Royale on my phone recently. So just getting into that for whatever reason. And yeah, been playing a whole lot of that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what we've been playing. We'll get into at the end, like always, the games that are coming out pretty soon. But let's head into our headlines, and Greg's going to kick us off.
A lot of used to do these developer interviews way back in the day, and like over like a decade ago, and so now they've done this Ask a Developer edition for Echoes of Wisdom. So there's like a 3-part interview that looks like it's pretty much all posted right now. If you want to check out some of the developers' answers and to answer some questions concerning like the game for Echoes of Wisdom.
Speaking of Nintendo, had a little birthday just yesterday. Yamauchi founded the company on September 23rd, 1889, 135 years old. So, from cards to gambling machines to love hotels to toys to games, Nintendo just keeps going strong. And it's pretty ironic that on the 135th anniversary, they opened the Nintendo Museum. So, it's pretty timely.
Nice. Well, I know some of you guys have been waiting for this moment, but in just a few short weeks, you're going to be able to get your hands, yet again, on that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle. However, Nintendo pulled something really exciting this year. They don't just have the Switch bundle, but they also have an OLED bundle this year. The regular bundle is going to be $299 and the OLED bundle at $349, and both include a combined savings of just shy of $80 here in the United States. Includes a download code for the game, so not a physical version of the game, and a 12-month NSO membership. So quite a bit of savings if you haven't picked up your Nintendo Switch yet or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I really don't know how many people are out there that don't fall into that category anymore.
Before we jump into the holidays, we can go jump back, and kids are back in school again now. So Nintendo has now teamed up with Scholastic Play to do some esport like events for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, along with Splatoon 3. So there's a number of different links and stuff to different schools and stuff that are participating in this kind of event. So if you're a student checking this out, be sure to look into doing that if you want to do some friendly competition.
Speaking of friendly competition, one of Nintendo's biggest competitors, Sony, had a showcase today. In fact, just a few hours ago, Sony's held a state of play today, which usually contains a lot of Sony exclusive games, and this time no exception. Timely that Power World is now going to PlayStation today with all the whole lawsuit thing going on with Nintendo. But in addition to that, they also showed some third party stuff. And like Nintendo Directs, not all of that stuff is exclusive. So we got some stuff to talk about here for the Switch and for Switch owners. They showed off Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge has the Radical Reptiles DLC, which is out right now. Lego Horizons Adventures was shown off again. That comes out November 14th. Fantasian Neo Dimension from Final Fantasy creator is coming December 5th to the Switch. Brand new announcement Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered was announced. And that is coming to the Switch. It is confirmed. That's coming December 10th. Sonic X Shadow Generations, which we'll talk about a little more here in a bit. They showed off brand new DLC for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the movie pack, which contains Keanu Reeves as Shadow. So the game launches October 25th. The DLC comes December 12th. So look forward to that. And finally, another brand new surprise. Lunar 1 and 2 Remastered Collection is coming in 2025. Two classic Game Arts RPGs. These games will be coming to the Switch. It is confirmed. So some really cool brand new announcements shown off. And we'll see what else what happens.
Nice. And if you don't have enough game information, Tokyo Game Show is this week. It is September 26th through September 29th. So be sure to check out TGS and all the information. We'll be talking about it, of course, in our Discord, but usually some big stuff comes out of the Tokyo Game Show. So excited to have that coming up again, September 26th through September 29th.
And last week, the NSO updated the Super Nintendo application. So if you had heard Barry at the top of the podcast hour, he talked about playing Battletoads Double Dragon on there. And then some of the other games that released was Big Run, Cosmo Gang the Puzzle, and Kino Kan no Dodgeball. And I probably can't pronounce the rest of that. So that apparently it's a dodgeball type game that's probably similar to like Super Dodgeball, but on Super Nintendo.
And to finish off the headlines, in addition to the state of play today, we also got Sonic Central 2024 happened around noon Eastern, and they covered a bunch of stuff. So first they did do Sonic X Shadow Generations, which again is their big game they're touting, and that is coming out later this year. They got to just show off some new cutscenes and new gameplay. Then they held a segment on mobile stuff. So Sonic Rumble, which is a game that I actually got to test. It is like Fall Guys Sonic style, and my biggest complaint was the controls because it's touch controls, and I guess if you use a gamepad with it, it would be a lot better. But it's also coming to PC. So if you like Fall Guys and you like Sonic, this is up to 32 people playing together, so it could be a lot of fun for you. Sonic Dash, Sonic Dash Plus, and Sonic Forces are getting brand new characters, including Valhalla Surge, Fearless Warrior Shadow, Delightfully Dulce Amy, and Mysterious Oni Mephiles are all coming. Sonic Dream Team is getting new collectibles, a brand new zone, new boss missions, a bunch of stuff to that. Sonic Racing is getting new updates. His time trial mode is added, brand new Rockstar Rouge and DJ Vector character models, including Popstar Amy is as well going later on. Getting off of the mobile, Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble, which came out earlier this year for the Switch, is getting DLC for Sonic, the Sonic packs, and you could actually get a Sonic and Shadow themed monkey balls for free right now in the eShop. 2 Point Museum, which is surprisingly not coming to the Switch as of now because the other ones have come, but maybe Switch 2 is getting a bunch of Sonic and Shadow themed stuff. There's a pre-order incentive for it where you could decorate part of your museum to make it look like Sonic and Shadow and have your employees walking around in costumes and put little Sonic arcades and stuff around your museum. This one I thought of Greg here. Roblox is getting Sonic Speed Simulator. You get to face off against a brand new version of Neo Metal Sonic, and you get to play as Super Sonic. So if you were into Roblox or you use Roblox a lot and you like Sonic, again, another option. So maybe Greg will play it and let us know how that goes. On top of that, they introduced Chow Tales, which is a brand new animated web series based off the Chows from Sonic Adventure. It'll be 8 episodes, and that will be most likely go into their YouTube channel. On top of YouTube, they also showed off they're doing a Sonic X Shadow YouTube series, as well as a partnership with, of all companies, DC, where they're doing comics next year in 2025, as well as into 2026. There's going to be 5 issues of the comics where they're going to have Sonic characters as DC characters. So Sonic will be like the Flash, Amy is going to be Wonder Woman, Shadow is Batman, Tails is Cyborg. So you're gonna get some fun stuff with that, and on top of that, they showed up some brand new Lego sets in the weirdest way possible. And if you haven't seen it, you should really see the way they did the commercial. It was really weird. But if you paid attention to the Lego Sonics, there's a bunch of new sets, such as the Master Emerald Shrine with Knuckles, the Super Sonic versus Egg Drillster. Top Golf, the actual physical stores, Top Golf is getting a Sonic themed event that you can go there and play golf, and your ball like turns into Sonic bouncing around things. Jack's Pacific showed off a brand new 6-inch customizable Shadow the Hedgehog based off of the new game. PDP is going to show off a bunch of wireless controllers. There's Sonic, Knuckles, Shadow, controllers, wireless controllers for the Switch being shown off. First 4 Figures has a brand new Shadow Evolved statue. HGC Helmets is bringing a brand new Shadow the Hedgehog helmet. And there's just a few other things. Palverse is getting a Sonic content. Luis de Guzman is doing a Sonic collaboration. There was just a lot here, and it's amazing that all this with only one real console game to show off. But there was a lot of Sonic news. Definitely something to check out if you're a Sonic fan.
Wow. Yeah, that's a ton of information that just happened. For the most part, a lot of that stuff happened within the last 12 hours. So kind of just dropped on us, which was really funny because as we were heading into this episode, putting the plan together a couple days ago, I'm like, what are we going to have to talk about? And then all of a sudden it just comes out of nowhere and gets dropped on us. So yeah, Greg, anything stand out from any of these headlines that you want to discuss further?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I usually like reading those developer interview things, so I'm pretty excited to have a read through that. I think I've seen like a few like snippets, like headlines from like other like publications and stuff, but I was not trying to um deep dive too much into there. So I usually try to like, play the game a little bit and before see like some of the other things that, because sometimes it's like cut content and other stuff like that that I was like, oh, that would but pretty cool. But yeah, that was pretty much it with that. Definitely a very happy anniversary to Nintendo, 135 years strong. It's let's go for the next 135, as they usually kind of say with those kinds of things. So they'll be long after all three of us and our kids are doing this podcast.
Nah, I'm planning on making it all the 135 years next.
I believe Steve can do it.
All right. Well, then help us out with that life, keeping us all alive for that long. Joking aside, with that, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle is no big surprise there. I did even see like some tidbits of like how like they're announcing like this and like how like the Switch 2 is like coming, like the announcement is imminent, because normally it's like clearing all the announcements and stuff for like October and November. That's why we're getting like gameplay trailers for Jamboree and even like Brothership and stuff. But now they're announcing their holiday bundles like here, so it's like let's get all the Switch stuff aside and get the Switch 2 out there. So that's kind of fun with that. The Playverse thing is also pretty cool to have some kids do some competitive gaming. I still remember like in high school playing the Nintendo 64 and doing like a GoldenEye tournament. That was always a lot of fun. So I hope some students will participate in that, because I wish they had more of that stuff when I was their age. I didn't really check out the Sony State of Play, and pretty sure most of that doesn't really apply to Nintendo. But it's still great that they're going strong even after their epic release of the PlayStation Pro announcement that got a lot of backlash. The Tokyo Game Show, looking forward to seeing what comes out of there, even though I don't think Nintendo was participating in it this time around. And then definitely with the NSO, also excited to check out Battletoads Double Dragon. I played the NES one quite a lot. I have never checked out the Super Nintendo one, so that should be kind of interesting there. And then all that Sonic news was very incredible. Not a super huge like Sonic fan, but it was definitely really a lot of effort. Looked like it was a lot put in with doing like the Lego sets and all the other types of announcements and stuff like that. And it's just really cool how they like kind of did a good way to honor Sonic. So yeah.
Cool. Let's go to the chat real quick. It looks like Jakster's excited about 135th anniversary as well, but never found a reason to get the OLED. Well, here's your reason, Jakester. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because we know that not everybody has that yet. And then Zev Zero says Xbox tweet was pretty funny, showing most of the showcase that's also coming to Xbox. That is pretty great. But Lunar was a shock, but also so happy it will now be easy for everyone to get. Just worried about the physical edition. So why should we be worried about the physical edition?
Most likely, since it's coming from Gung Ho, they also did the Grande 1 and 2 HD, and that went to limited run, and that got very expensive very quickly. So the idea about these remasters is that more people get to enjoy them, and then when the physical becomes out of most people's price range, that's the problem with the original versions of these games. Like Lunar 1 and 2, if you get them on like Sega CD or the PlayStation, they're very expensive. So even like I believe Lunar, the PlayStation Portable remake is probably up there in price, and the GBA version, Lunar Legend, is probably up there as well. So like the idea is like this gets it more accessible, and we want it to be accessible to everybody, and we're already fighting that physical versus digital battle. So if the price is so high for the physical, they'll most likely just I'll just get the digital, which defeats the whole purpose.
That makes sense. Yep. Zev Zero says Series X is a great system. Lots of things to like about it. I have a Series S, but yeah, I agree. Series X is also a great system. And he also says Barry knows. Yes, which is why I asked Barry about physical editions. If I have any question about physical editions, I go to Barry first. And going to Barry right now. Barry, what's your thoughts on these headlines?
Yeah, so there's a ton of stuff going on. Obviously, happy to see the interviews come back. That's always a great thing, and love the insider information. Happy birthday again to Nintendo. 135 is incredible, and they're going strong, and I think they've always posted profit, except for the one little short time during the Wii U. But we don't like to talk about that time. That was a dark
The
time.
dark years.
Mario Kart 8, the Darky, yeah, 2016. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle. I just roll my eyes when I see it, like it's an inevitability. It's like at Christmas as a kid, when your dad gets you the Hess truck, and I know this package is the Hess truck. You get it for me every year. It's I know it. I know this is exactly what you're giving me. Oh, you give me 12 months of NSO this time. Wow, whole 20 hours. The whole play versus thing and the generation with the esports. I think that's cool. I think that's great to get kids involved. For the stuff announced at Sony, I'm super stoked for Fantasian, but Legend of Kane and Lunar 1 and 2, like, I jumped for joy. Those are great games. Love Soul Reaver as a kid, playing that with my friends, and Lunar 1 and 2 were two absolute fantastic game arts RPGs. If you've never played them, this is definitely a calling. This is like the Hail Mary. Like, never thought we'd see these games again, especially because Square bought Game Arts and then killed them. So Grandia, Lunar, definitely love to see more attention to them. TGS, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it. Like as always, there's usually something there. As for the NSO update, like I said, I played Battletoads Double Dragon. I didn't play it for long. It wasn't as fun as the Game Boy One, at least as I remember the Game Boy One back in the day. That one might be trash too. I didn't play the other ones, but it's great to see more games from Japan. But I'd like to see more Super Nintendo stuff. Get more on there. I feel like that NSO is kind of lagging behind the other systems. And for Sonic Central, I'm glad to see them, giving Sonic some love. Wish Sega gave that much love to their other franchises, but they are remaking a lot of games. The Sonic X Shadows generations I'm looking forward to, and I think the DLC is hilarious to get Keanu Reeves talking for you, but I kind of hate that it's coming like a week before the movie drops, because the movie I think is December 20th, and it's like I would rather have that when the game launches on October 25th, because by then I'll probably have beaten the game and I won't be going back to it. The mobile stuff. When I get my new iPhone 16 Pro Max thing, maybe I'll see about a controller, but I just do not like touch controls for a lot of that stuff, and there's just other games I'd rather play. But I'm glad to see it. The game Roblox. I know there's a big audience. I'm glad to see this content there. Monkey Ball. I already beat the new Monkey Ball. It's a lot of fun. I'll probably download the skins because they're free. But if you haven't played it yet, and this is a reason for you to go and play it, play it. It's a fantastic game. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in the headlines.
Yeah, absolutely. Jakester says, for generations, Nintendo was a creator of great games and systems before the dark times, before the cafe. Yeah, I'm with you guys as well. So glad to have the Ask the Developers thing kind of return in that similar way to when Iwata did that. I haven't read through it. Similar to you guys, like I'm kind of holding off until I play through a good chunk of the game before, because I don't think they really get into a ton of spoilers, but at the same time I want to kind of stay away from potential spoilers. And so great that it's there, and I'll head back to it later. One of the cool things that I did notice in some of the other articles I was reading about that just kind of hit me as I was going through, like wasn't looking for it, but apparently they have had talks of making a Zelda dungeon maker, and they actually referenced that, I guess, in one of the interview articles. So that's interesting. So Super Dungeon Maker, watch out. I don't know. Maybe actually Zelda Dungeon Maker might be in the near future. But they haven't made it yet. They've talked about it, I guess. Yeah.
Well, there's that like little side thing in Link's Awakening on Switch, but I don't think
Yeah.
that was a very good fleshed out dungeon maker.
Yeah.
Well, they said in the interviews, they actually said like they were messing around with it, and Enuma was like, "Oh, it's kind of fun just to place things, like as many things as you want," and that's what created the mechanic that we use in Echoes of Wisdom, because you can just create enemies and put enemies there, and now you could have them fight for you. So instead of making a dungeon maker, they made a static game with that, as if you were the level editor and creating your own thing.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah. Happy 135th, Nintendo. I hope to see the next 135, but we'll see. Probably not going to happen. so, who knows? I'm still holding out hope, I guess. um, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. What has not been said about this bundle? Let's just move on. I'm really glad to see Nintendo partnering with Playversus and Generations Esports, because so often they are doing something silly when it comes to esports, and here they're making a good move to get into schools and be able to enter into the tournament scene. Esports is just becoming more and more popular in middle schools, high schools, colleges around the world, and so it's really cool to see them actually making a good play to actually license their games to these tournaments and stuff. So that's really cool. Sony State of Play. I'm excited to play the new DLC for TMNT Shredder's Revenge. Haven't played it yet, but excited to check that out soon. And then of course Sonic X Shadow Generations DLC is exciting, but like you said, Barry, I kind of wish they would have delayed it just a little bit. It's rare that we ask for a delay in something, but just a week. A week would have been nice. And then Tokyo Game Show, also excited for NSO update. They've not wowed me lately. There's some good games that they haven't brought out yet. This one wasn't one of them. I looked at a set of games and I was like, oh, well, looks like I'm gonna keep on ignoring the SNES NSO app for now. And then Sonic Central, holy cow, I need to go back and watch that entire thing because I was not prepared for all of that, Barry. You kept on
It's a
going, and
lot.
I was like, oh my goodness, this could have been our entire discussion for this entire
Yeah.
podcast. Holy cow, that's a lot. So what am I most excited about? Like you, I think the idea of that of the Fall Guys game, what's that called? Sonic Rumble
Yeah.
on a mobile. It sounds silly, but I'll probably play it, a little bit. I think it's also on PC, so that's good. I did pick up a Backbone
Nice.
controller for my iPhone a while back. It was on sale and got that, so maybe that'll come in handy because playing precision, like that kind of a game, like platformer on mobile, just sounds like an awful experience.
It
And
was. It was.
but yeah, some of these other things are really exciting as well. I'm excited to play Top Golf with Sonic. Like I played the Angry Birds thing with Top Golf, and it's fun. So I'm excited to check out Sonic as well, and so many of the rest of these things. Yeah, really exciting. So yeah, definitely have to go check out all of that. But let's move into our main discussion. Even though I said Sonic could have been the main discussion for
Absolutely.
this
I almost
entire,
moved it down there
yeah,
because there's a lot.
we definitely could have. But our main discussion really is the Level 5 event, and we're going to look at in the forward to the next upcoming games for Nintendo a little bit at the end as well. But yeah, Level 5 also had an event early this morning.
Yep.
And I was sleeping and then had tons of meetings all day today, so I'm clueless on this except for the list of things I've seen. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch it, but Barry finally he did get to watch it, so he's gonna bail me out here and tell us what I missed in the Level 5 Vision 2024 event.
Yeah, so they had a big event this morning. It started at 8 o'clock Eastern. I did not watch it when it went live. I watched it, I think after the Sonic Central. So these events are always good. It's always great to see Level 5, put on these presentations. They're a cherished developer, and they're not afraid to delay games. That is like last year when they did theirs. Their big message is delay, and this was also more announcements of the delays. So they started off with Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, which we've known about. It was supposed to launch October 10th, my birthday, and it sucks because I was really looking forward to that. Like, what a birthday present. It's been delayed until April 2025. The reason for it is they took feedback from the demo and they decided to add a crap ton of stuff to this game, including making it an open world game. Like they literally took the game that was there. People liked it, but they had this is what I would like, this is what I would prefer. They fleshed out the story, they added new jobs, they one of the things that you couldn't do is you couldn't switch professions on the fly. They added profession switching on the fly. So like if you're out there as a warrior and you come across a tree and you wish you could switch to lumber or lumberjack to get some lumber, now you can. Now you can just switch on the fly, which is really cool. There's a ton of different professions. The game looks like a ton of fun. The bosses look like a ton of fun. Like you can tell the love and polish they put into this game. So I figure we'll just go game by game since there's only a few of them. And you're watching it now for probably the first time. You could like change your island or your area like in Animal Crossing. You could decorate your town. You could decorate your house. So there's a little Animal Crossing thrown in there as well. Greg, were you interested in this before? Have you seen this new trailer? Have you seen the new content?
Well, like Steve, I didn't really get a chance to watch it. I had a really busy day today with like work and other meetings and stuff going on, and even trying to assemble one of the shelves right before the podcast. But um, I did play the Fantasy Life game on 3DS, and I know I had played it for a little while, and then I kind of had lost interest in it, and then I was not really too excited with that. But even though the updates you reported from like the demo and the feedback they got, it definitely makes it a little bit more enticing at this point. Because I do remember having to change jobs on the 3DS version was kind of a chore. You had to like go all the way back into town,
Yeah.
talk to this one guy in particular, and then like, all right, now you can change jobs, and then you can go out and do your thing again. And then that was kind of like a lag, like a unnecessary like wasting of the player's time. So I definitely think that this style of game is much better if you're able to just switch on the fly, which I'm glad to hear that they're implementing, and that what makes this a little bit more interesting to do in the first place.
Yeah,
So,
they added swimming as
yeah,
well. I forgot to mention climbing, mounts. Like there's a lot to this. This is not a
Wow,
small 3DS game.
that's
yep,
cool.
yeah. I understand this is like the full console release. I'm not trying to say it was like a small version. I'm just saying my experience with the series was just that one
Yeah,
limited game that was there. But I'm glad to hear that they listen to feedback, and that always makes the game better. So like that's goes right back to Miyamoto. You can make a game like you only get one opportunity to make the game, and a delayed game is can be better than a rushed game. So
Yeah. I did not play the original game because it just didn't seem like it would excite me at all. But what they're doing here is really intriguing, and I love the fact that they've listened that much to the demo to really change the game in some really big ways. Like that's not just like, oh, it's like we need to switch a few things around here. That's like completely opening it up to an open world and changing some very key mechanics. That's like it's basically a brand new game, which is actually intriguing to me. My only fear, which is a good fear, I guess, is that this is a game that if I gave it a chance, I could get sucked into for hours and hours and hours and hours. And I don't know if I want to open that Pandora's box, honestly. But it looks that good, though.
oh yeah, for sure. I'm with you there. I'm really excited for it. Moving on here, as it does, the next game to show off is Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, a game I think we've all been excited for. They showed off a brand new trailer and new info about the game, as well as the release date of 2025. Um, this is like we're really seeing some true gameplay. The last trailer just showed like a little tease. This is actually showing like real gameplay, taking these 2D characters into 3D world and the intrigue behind it. Greg, were you a Layton fan? Did you play the other ones before? Are you interested in this one?
I actually didn't play the previous Layton games, but it's always been one of those series that I've really wanted to jump back into, and unfortunately, a lot of it is on the 3DS, and I don't know if there's physical versions for all of them or not, but
There is.
I do know my one friend had collected them, and hopefully he still has them, and I can try to borrow them and even fire up the 3DS to get thrown through them because he's been trying to heavily recommend this series to me in general. I've always been interested by it. I don't know if I can just jump in at this point in the
You
series
can.
or if it's like a
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I just didn't know if like it's a continuation of the story or something like that, and I don't want to be starting at the last game. But um, yeah, this game has certainly caught my interest, and I just know there's a huge Switch backlog I have, and hopefully I can get into this.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Steve?
I I'm so excited for this game. Yeah, I've not played all of the Layton games, only a handful of them, just because they're an investment in terms of time, because you can't just run through this. Like you've got to figure out puzzles and stuff like that. And so yeah, I've everyone that I played I loved and was kind of sad when they decided to go in a different direction for a while. And I thought they were going to put Layton to just rest and we wouldn't see it in that form anymore. And then all of a sudden, this one came out of nowhere. I remember thinking originally that was like, oh man, 2025 so far away. And well, here we are. It's only a couple months away now, so we don't know exactly when it's going to be, but excited to see more gameplay now. And yeah, I just hope I have enough time to actually play it when it comes because it's going to be good. I just know it is, and it's exciting to actually see gameplay like this time. Like you said, like the last time it was just cutscenes and stuff like that. But to actually see some gameplay, it's really exciting.
Yeah, the Layton games are good. They do have an overarching story, but you can kind of pick up. And like you, I thought the game was to rest. They kind of put him to retirement. They did the Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright game, and then they did his granddaughter,
Hmm.
or I think it is, which is on the Switch and very good, and I do recommend that one. But it kind of looked like they were going in that direction, and I guess it didn't sell enough on the 3DS. They tried it on Switch, and they're like, people just want Layton back. So here he is, he's back. And yeah, it does look really good. So I'm happy to see that. The next game they talked about was a game that people have been waiting for a long time for, and that's Deca Police. Deca Police, I think, was supposed to come out in 2023. Then got delayed to 2024. Then I got delayed to 2025. And right now it's 2026. 2026. They show a lot of new information in this brand new trailer. There's also an anime plan to release at the same time. So they're investing money and time into this game. But like I said, Level 5 is one of those companies where they're not going to rush the game out and have it be bad. They will delay and delay and delay to make sure that the game is good. And Deca Police for me personally looked like a lot of fun when I first saw it. This trailer just solidified. It goes more into the story. It goes more into the character, and the character interaction and what their motives are. At least surface level motives, maybe. But just as like a sci-fi detective, almost feels like parts of like Astral Chain, just not with all the action of the platinum style, but with the detective and the mystery and just like all this inside this like virtual world. Greg, I don't know if you've been following Deca Police. I don't know if it's interested you at all. What are your thoughts?
I don't. I mean, I do remember us discussing it on a previous podcast because the name of the game certainly sounds very familiar. Like when they had like maybe the announcement trailer, maybe when it was supposed to release back in 2023. I haven't really followed a whole lot since, and it's probably just one of those things I just need to actually watch like this like trailer in full just to see if it's gonna be something I jump into. I'm not super familiar with it, and I don't remember a whole lot from when we previously talked about it though.
Yeah.
Good news is you have plenty of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Before you know it, it'll be on like the Switch 3, like
They just keep
keep pushing
delaying
it
it.
back.
Yeah. I I kind of forgot about this game and I thought they had as well. So it's exciting to see that they have not forgotten about it and they're still just trying to make it the best they can. But 2026, it's exciting, but it's too far in advance where I'm not gonna think about it much, and I'll just be excited when it comes. But yeah, that's so far away. It's gonna be like Metroid 4 at some point.
Yeah, pretty much. But again, like, I'm glad that they're taking the time. Like I said, they're investing in an anime. And the interesting thing is, like right now, you see on the screen, there's the Switch logo. 2026, will it still come to Switch, or will it be one of those? Well, we announced this for Switch, but now it's going to be Switch 2. We don't know.
Or like Greg
But
said, Switch 3 at that point.
Switch 3, who knows? It could be any of it. But yeah, they're going hard. In the trailer they have the theme song, professionally recorded theme song, Japanese artist, and all that stuff. Like they're really putting the money behind this one. Um, Now for a game that did come out this year, Musashi W Wired, which is a mech arena style game with story. that did come out already. That is out now on the Switch. There is an update plan for November. And this update, the biggest thing that people complained about is if you wanted to play online and play against their friends, they would have to level up first in the story and they couldn't just jump right in. So there's a brand new PvP mode that's going to allow anybody to just jump in and play. Like it's literally like you almost like borrowing characters like Pokemon Stadium. So you're automatically leveled up. You're just play it and see what you like. You have options of all the different characters. This DLC is also going to include some special guest pilots like Ryoma Nagari, which is from Getter Robo, Duke Fleed from UFO Robot Grandizer, and Koji Kabuto from Mazinger Z. And I probably butchered those. It's a Steve moment. But they have these bonus characters in there and possibly more. Interesting when there's a lot of other properties. A lot of the times that doesn't get localized, but this is localized. This is coming here. Greg, have you looked at this game before? We did briefly talk about it last time it was shown off. Is this something that interests you? And will this new mode be like what draws you in?
Probably not. I think I've had like a thing on the podcast where I'm not really into a lot of the different mech style type games and controls. So, I think I do remember like saying about this like when we initially the game was announced or in a previous direct that we talked about it. So I don't think that the new mode would probably entice me to jump into it either. I'm do I am glad that they are listening and provided that type of mode because there are other games that where if you have like leveling involved, you can easily just say like, oh, everyone's just at this one level or whatever, and just makes it even across the board. So I'm glad to hear that they found a way to make that a solution to be able to play with your friends because you obviously don't want to be playing with your one friend that's just had the game since like launch and it's like level 100 and then you just jump down there at like level 2 trying to see what the game's about and then you have no chance of beating them at all. So really glad that they listened to the feedback on that.
Nice. I completely forgot about this game, and while this stuff sounds exciting, I'm with Greg. Like, I'm still going to forget about this game. Yeah, it sounds fun to people, but I've got limited time. I don't want to spend it in this, but to each his our own. But I love the fact that they've actually listened again to fans and they're moving that direction.
See, now we need review codes, so you're forced to play it. There we go.
I wouldn't
Make
mind
it happen.
playing it. I'm just not going to spend my money on it.
So next we've got Inazuma 11, which is celebrating its 15th year. Inazuma 11 Fifth Victory Road. We showed this off last time. It's a brand new trailer that introduces Commander Mode. Commander Mode pretty much allows you to play the game easier. It allows you to just give commands as opposed to controlling everybody, and it's designed to allow just the casual players to also enjoy, and this could be switched on the fly. There's also a character growth mode where there's like different roles, and as you go through the story you can choose, you should be friendlier with this person and that person, and it'll enhance the gameplay during the matches. Again, like with Fantasy Life, they took feedback from the demo, and this is now planned for a June 2025 release. So Greg, soccer RPG, something that interests you at all?
No, I've not usually been into a lot of the soccer style games. It even includes like strikers. I have feel like I've talked about strikers quite in depth about my distaste for it. So um, I'm pretty sure other types of soccer games are not really going to do it for me. Just not being a huge fan of soccer and video games.
Yeah. I still stand by what I've said. I'm sure it's great, but I enjoy soccer. I don't necessarily, if I'm going to play a soccer game, I don't want to play an RPG around it. I just want to play soccer, and I don't like how EA has turned FIFA, and now it's FC Sports or whatever, into also kind of an RPG where you have to form your own team and blah blah blah. I'm like, I just want to log in and play a game of soccer against other people or against the computer and do the best I can. That's what I'm looking for in a soccer game. So I think people that are loving this entire series. I know that it's a huge hit. But when I look at soccer games, I want to actually play soccer, and sometimes with cars, which is why I like Rocket League. But yeah, I think it's cool, but not for me.
Nah, see, this is kind of intriguing me more because I enjoy soccer, but I've always enjoyed the offbeat soccer. Like Mega Man Soccer was my favorite soccer game on the Super Nintendo. I love that game. I know people say it's one of the worst Mega Man games, and as a Mega Man game, it is. But as a soccer game, I think it's fantastic. And I love strikers, and I love all the special moves and everything like that. So to see something like this with RPGs, which I love RPGs, and I never played any of the other games, I'm like, this actually looks kind of intriguing to me. Like this is something I can see, getting involved and with the new mode to make it a little bit easier. That would be beneficial, I think, just because I'm not used to playing soccer games. Um, but it's also one of those where it's like, do I have the time? Is this going to take my attention from another RPG? So it really depends on when it falls and what else is already out there and what else is going on in my life. But it is intriguing to me, and I want to see Steve give this a shot. Like I want to see this win over Steve. I want this to be the one thing where Steve's like, I wasn't really totally interested in it, but I played it, and all I played is this game. Like this game has taken over me. Like this. That's what I want to see.
Hey, send me a review
Um,
code Hyper 5 or Level 5. I will. I'll check it out. But
There you go. I'm on level 5. Let give the NintendoFuse seal of approval, right? So they surprised everybody, especially the Inazuma 11 fans, because not only were they doing Victory Road, but for the 15th anniversary, they're doing two more projects. One is Inazuma 11, the movie, 2025. It's going to be releasing in Japanese cinemas, but no announcement of a worldwide release. But if they put it here, the odds are they probably will. And Inazuma 11 RE, which is a remake of the very first game that is coming in 2026. So because of the popularity, I guess the first game is a little harder to get to or get a hold of, and it's a little dated. So they said, hey, you know what? Let's go back and redo it, remake it, do modern conveniences that they've added to the series to allow it to be more accessible. I don't know how. I mean, if you guys aren't big into Victory Road, if going back and playing the very first game would that interest you at all? And
nope.
what do you think?
Yeah, I haven't not really played, like, even heard a whole lot about the series in general, so I don't think that it's. I'd really have to do like a super deep dive to get like into it, or if there's like some demos or even like some codes thrown our way, then I'd be glad to check it out. But I definitely am glad if they are remaking the game to make like more like modernize it and put in like the modern conveniences and stuff. That's very great to hear and always makes games more accessible. Um, I mean, Nintendo's no stranger to doing that either with some of their games. So I mean, that's why we have like Mario All Stars and other games like that too. So glad to see that they're making the game, like modernizing it and putting on the latest console and giving it a nice fresh coat of paint.
Yeah. Yeah, if I get into Inazuma 11, I would see myself going to the newest game. I think, rather than going back to the old one. But it's cool that they're doing this. I'm excited that they're doing it.
Yeah, I think it's telling. I know a lot of people are upset with the whole, oh, remakes, give us brand new games, and they forget that a lot of the older games are no longer playable or
Hmm.
accessible on newer platforms. So even if you said, "Oh, I want to go back and play one of the older games," like you'd have to bust out your 3DS, like we were just talking about with Layton. It would be great if there was a Layton collection on the Switch because then it would just be nice and easy and convenient, and more people can access it. So this is one way to do that, and it seems like it's a second team. Like a lot of people say, like, oh, making a remake takes away from a brand new game, but it feels like this is a different team because Victory Road is obviously still being worked on, and this is coming in 2026. So it's great to see them doubling down on something that works for them, that is popular for them. Kind of like how they brought Leighton back. They realized, hey, people want Leighton. There is definitely a big audience for this series, and they're doing that for them. This is allowing it for them, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
The next one, which you'll have to skip a little ahead because they're still doing Victory Road, is a surprise game, right? this is remake you're on right now. The You can see it's almost like the Pokemon Diamond Pearl remake. It's like the chibi characters. It's kind of cute. It looks very different than the than the newest one, but I like that they're doing that and giving it the treatment. But the last game they showed off um, is interesting. It's a surprise game. It's nothing I could ever experience or plan. And they talk about it being a concept similar in the legacy of Yokai Watch. And I'm like, oh, are we getting Yokai Watch 4 localized finally? Are we getting Yokai Watch 5? No, we're getting a brand new game called Holy Horror Mansion. It's a Ghostcraft RPG that is inspired by the legacy of Yokai Watch. It's used cameras and ghosts to turn normal objects into creature. Family is one of the cores of this themes of this game. Right now, there is no planned release date and there's no planned system for the game at all. They will not say, so this very well could be switched to. However, you have to watch this trailer because you're going to see something in this trailer you probably will never, ever, ever expect to see in a video game trailer, ever. And it's a pop culture thing from 2016 that you would never expect to see. Not only is it in the trailer, but it's a gameplay mechanic. And you'll see it here very soon if you're watching the live thing. And I'm not going to spoil it until at least it comes on because it's funnier to see the reactions. But yeah, if you never played Yokai Watch, this is in the vein of it. It's similar to Pokemon, but you're using different real life monsters and real life creatures. And it's interesting. Like here, you see like the piggy bank gets turned into an enemy, and the lucky cat gets turned into. So it definitely has this charm. And here it is. Here it is in the trailer. You tell me you would ever expect to see this in a video game trailer, and then actually used in a mechanic, because you can do pen and apple together to create your own creatures.
Huh.
Did you ever expect that to be a thing?
Nope. Can't say I had that on my bingo card.
And if you don't know pen, pineapple, apple pen, the song, where were you in 2016? But yeah, that's a thing that is used in this trailer to highlight this game. So what are your thoughts on this?
Pretty sure in 2016 I was still playing Mario Maker, so that's probably why I missed that name. So.
Oh my God, Greg living under a rock here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I didn't know of that song or anything.
You've
but I guess
never heard that song?
I don't believe I have.
I have an apple.
Barry with the solo. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't get it demonetized.
Steve knows the song. Steve knows the song.
I'm not singing anything.
Yeah, you know the song. So what about you?
Yeah, I have no claim to the song, but it definitely sounds like an interesting game idea to be able to like combine things. It's almost like that Tears of the Kingdom kind of crafting. You can stick things together and everything just kind of magically works together. So it is kind of borrowing that. That's what I got out of that when you're combining stuff. I didn't get a 8-year-old meme out of it, but it kind of gave you a little bit of a reminder of how Tears of the Kingdom plays around with that, and that's kind of cool. And having like a haunted theme, so hopefully it will actually release around Halloween and not like some random time that's not Halloween. But yeah, who knows what console will be on? I guess
Switch
no
7. Yeah, I never got into the Yokai Watch games, and so like I'm glad to see this is not like a like a direct tie-in, because I think if it was, I wouldn't be like, it's associated, which is great. So I don't feel like I would be missing anything since I didn't play the Yokai Watch games, at least from the trailer. I mean, they haven't really showed us enough.
No,
but I don't
just
get
like
that.
In the spirit of.
Yeah. And so that's exciting. I think it's a very interesting concept, and I think pretty much all I can say right now is it's really interesting, and we'll see where this goes, because that's about all we know. So based on what we know, I'm intrigued for sure. And most likely it's probably not going to be on the current Switch, probably Switch 2. And so yeah, I'm sure it'll look fantastic as well. And yeah, just excited to see where it goes, I guess.
The last thing they do cover is Tokyo Game Show, which we talked about before, starting September 26th. There will be 3 demos available: one for Inazuma 11 Victory Road, one for Professor Layton, The New World of Steam, and one for Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. So we should be able to get some new gameplay footage and new feedback and new previews and stuff very, very shortly from people. So if any of those 3 games interest you at all, I'll look forward to that for sure.
Cool. Let's go back to the chat real quick and see what people have been saying. They also think 2026 seems like years away. It really does until we're like, December 2025 after we blink. Kojimi is excited about Layton as well. So are we. That's so exciting. Jakester thinks the only good soccer game that I play is Rocket League, but that is not the case. Actually, recently probably is, because the last Strikers was not good. And I haven't played FIFA in a long time, or whatever they're calling it now. And then Jesse thinks Level-5 can do no harm. So, but yeah. And then Jakester said wasn't into the gameplay of Yokai Watch. So it's a little more different. Then I will give it a try. So yeah, it definitely seems like it's very different in the overall concept.
I'm just kind of surprised that Yokai Watch 4, which was an early Switch game in Japan, never got brought over here. And I know the 3DS games may not have done that well. I know Yokai Watch 3 is one of the more expensive games, but it came out after this. By the time it came out here, the Switch was already out. So a lot of 3DS games post Switch launch did not do very well, a la Mario and Luigi. So I'd love to see them do some kind of compilation and bring those onto the Switch, because they were fun, the little bits I played. But yeah, the 4th game is a Switch exclusive and only in Japan, and it does not have English at all. So it's weird. Like, to me, that's like the perfect thing to just pay minimum amount to translate, just to translate and get it and release it at the end of his console's life cycle, to like, here's content. And Nintendo did such a push with Yokai Watch. You would think they would be like, hey, we'll just help you out, whatever, like, get it out there. They have a good working relationship with Level-5. Everything showed off is coming to the Switch, except for the last one, which is no console announced, but will most likely be on a Nintendo platform.
Yeah. Yep. Greg, any final thoughts about Level-5 before we move on?
I mean, obviously it was great that my dog had a lot of thoughts on this.
Yeah.
I think he was pretty upset by there wasn't enough stuff shown for those coming out this year, and everything is like 2025 and 2026.
Yeah.
No, just obviously fully joking, but it's great to see that there's a lot of updates on some expected games, and as we've already mentioned, there was a few games that were announced in previous like partner showcases and stuff. So it's great to see updates, and even like Level-5 being very responsive to fan feedback. I mean, that always makes the game better when you're more making the game more what the fans are expecting, or even using like their ideas on how to improve the game. So it's really great to hear that we're very responsive, and even if it's at the cost of delaying the game for a year, maybe in some cases 2 years for those 2026 ones. But yeah, definitely it sounds like a pretty great show, and I'll have to watch like the full video hopefully before the next podcast though. But yep.
Cool. Well, I thought it'd be fun before we move into our last segment of the episode to look ahead, because we've talked about a lot of these games in different pieces, especially in Nintendo Directs and things like that we've seen. But when I think about the rest of 2024, none of us were sure about what was going to happen the rest of this year at a certain point in this year. But then all of a sudden, Nintendo decided to drop quite a bit of games, and we've got a full rest of the year and even into the beginning of 2025. So I just want to quickly run over a handful of those games. Maybe I'll forget some of them. You guys, Barry and Greg, you can fill me in on any ones that I forget. But we've got Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom that's going to be dropping in just a couple days on December, or sorry, not December. There we go, time jumping again.
Time travel.
September 26th. See, this is why 2026 is going to be here before you know it. But next Zelda game is dropping on September 26th, so just in a couple days as of this recording. We got Super Mario Party Jamboree dropping on October 17th, Mario and Luigi Brothership on November 7th, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which we thought was long until we get to see that game. It's just a few months away now, January 16th. The My Sims Cozy Bundle, maybe not exciting for a lot of people, but that's going to be coming in November, as I alluded to earlier. EA FC 25, their soccer game, is releasing on September 27th. But then we got Sid Meier's Civilization in a few months. And in February of next year, we got Sonic X Shadow Generations. This will be dropping in October 25th. We got several good games that are going to be coming out in just the next few months to wrap up the end of this year. What are you guys most excited about? Like, when you think about the rest of this year, you're like, I can't wait to get my hands on this game. What is it going to be, Greg?
Well, if we're only talking Nintendo games, and it's certainly Echoes of Wisdom, which I've already pre-ordered and it will be downloaded and ready to go in just a couple days here. But if we are trying to be more open with everything else, I am also rather excited for Dragon Quest 3 3D, the whatever, the 2.5 3D HD 2D, whatever, like
Yeah.
whatever the D's. But yeah, that was definitely a big one that I was looking forward to. I mean, Super Mario Party Jamboree, I'm really excited to play. I really like that they're bringing back some of the classic board maps and stuff from from earlier games, like the 64 games. But I mean, even like Brothership, I'm super excited to finally make a grand return, because I had really enjoyed the Mario and Luigi series back on like 3DS and on Game Boy Advance. But yeah, it's really great to see that one come back as well too. So I mean, there's Epic Mickey. I mean, it's gonna be a busy end of the year.
Yeah. Barry, anything that really excites you? I know you've been playing a lot of these games, but what are you really excited about?
I mean, obviously all of Nintendo's outings, and like Greg mentioned about Dragon Quest 3, but then you also got Ys 10 Nordics is coming out. You got brand new Life is Strange is coming out. Like Romancing Saga 2, which now I played the demo, I'm like, ooh, that's good. There's Fantasia and New Neo. There's Reynolds. There's so many games, and even if you go off of Switch, there's other games too. A lot of this whole last end of the year is just stacked. And that's one of the reasons, like, I was doing like all the Sam and Max games, because we have to do them for review, and I'm like, I'm gonna get these knocked out now before all this starts happening, and there's no time in between games again, because it's just banger after banger after banger. And I love that, because there's just so many good games. What sucks is when you don't have the time to finish them all, and you're like, they start bleeding into each other, and then the backlog just grows and grows and grows.
Yeah.
But yeah, this for a last year, like, if you do go to our prediction video, I never would have expected the holiday season to be this good for the Switch. I would expect this holiday season to be amazing for the Switch too, but of course that's not coming out. And I think anyone that thinks that at this point is silly. We're too close, and there's too many good games already coming out that Nintendo doesn't need it. Nintendo is brought in, like, you even talk about Donkey Kong in January. If you look at 2024, every single month but December has a Nintendo game. Yes, April technically doesn't, but again, I move Endless Ocean into April because it was the beginning of May, and May had 2 games. That's 11 first-party games from Nintendo. 11 in a year. That's not even counting stuff like the Splatoon 3 DLC, or anything like that. The Pokemon Unite DLC that they've added, the stuff they've done in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, like the different 7-star raids and the content to keep people coming back. The Splatfests. There's just so much. There's Reynolds there. That's one I'm looking forward to as well. Uh, it's just an awesome awesome end of the year. And if you have nothing to play, then I don't know what to tell you, because there's at least got to be at least something to catch, right? Because there's a ton of games that have gone on that we haven't even talked about. Look, there's Iron Meat. We already played that, and we reviewed it. So check out our game chat on that.
Yeah. It's crazy to think how good of a place we're in, and yet at the same time we're at the end of a console life cycle. Like, we're going to be, before you know it, we're going to be talking about whatever the Switch successor is going to be. I'm with you guys. I don't think they're going to announce it anytime soon. But even if they did, like, like, we've got so much that's currently out for Switch that's coming soon for Switch. None of us saw this coming at all. So yeah, I'm excited, especially about Zelda. I'm excited about this next Mario Party game. I think the last ones, they've been better than the last numbered ones. I've been more pleased, but then they've had some weird quirks about it. Like, one of them, you could only play with Joy-Cons. That's weird. So hopefully that has been taken away. Has that been confirmed yet? Do we know if you can play with the Pro Controller in this one?
My guess is you're gonna need. Oh, Sonic and Shadow. There's another one we were just talking about a bunch today. I'm gonna guess you need to, because Super Mario Party was the one that you need the Joy Cons, and this is another Super Mario Party game. However, I'm a big Pro Controller gamer. I rarely will ever use the Joy Cons, and I love Super Mario Party. Like, I 100% of that game. Joy Cons be damned, it worked. Was a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah, I get the concept of why they want you to play with Joy-Cons, but it would have been nice if you also had an option to play with Pro Controller.
Those games you couldn't, though. Those mini games. If you never played Super Mario Party, you needed to use the motion control.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, I feel almost like they're gonna probably follow in the footsteps of what they did with Mario Party 8 and 9. So like 8 was like Wii Remote exclusive, and like you were doing all the waggling and everything, and there was very little of that. And then 9, they really like kind of toned it down a bit, and then like it was like a lot more games you could just hold the Wii Remote on its side and enjoy it that way, even though like it had the awful car mechanic and all the other garbage wrong with the game. But I feel like they might do that kind of approach with this one being like the second Super Mario Party game. Like the first one was more like, oh, look what our Joy-Cons can do, and this one's like more about it's just okay, they can still do like the fun, innovative things, but we can just do standard, like you can just easy to have 2 players automatically off the bat, and just each person just hold the Joy-Con and can just play the games just with it like held sideways as a normal controller.
They did that already, though. This is the third Mario Party. Superstars was more traditional. You use the Pro Controller and everything.
Yeah,
I understand that. I was saying this is the second Super Mario Party like style game. Like it's almost like if they were to start numbering it again, it would be Super Mario Party 2, because it's whatever, just Super Mario Party plus insert subtitle here. I felt like All Stars was just like a different project where it was just more like just like a throwback to the classic games and stuff, and just to kind of show fans that they were trying to actually like put some effort into it, like modernizing the series, and before all the other stuff they've done with like 9 and 10 and making all those things that turned everybody away from them. That's what I was getting at. But yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm just now finding this, and if you're watching the video version, you're seeing my mind being blown at the moment. I didn't realize there was a DLC coming out for Atari 50.
That's the second one. You missed. It was the first Console Wars was higher up.
Oh,
There's another one higher up.
19 more games for this thing. So is the Console Wars is even higher up?
Yeah, it was like scrolled up higher.
I think this has got both of them.
Yeah, see, the first Console War was another one.
So for $14, you can get both DLCs. So, dang, that's so many games that both 19 more games, I guess. So that's so many in this collection. That's ridiculous.
38 more games.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I think I when I look at the fall, I think that it's really exciting to what's coming out, and of course Zelda is the thing that I'm most excited about. The only sad thing is, I think I mentioned this at last episode, or maybe we were just chatting offline, I can't remember. I can't remember what I say on recording and what I say to you guys
I think it
offline.
was just privately after
I
the
think it
last
was,
game chat.
but I'm busy all day Thursday and Friday and some trainings and stuff. So I'm like, oh, I can't play Zelda until the weekend. I'm bummed. And I haven't gotten the physical edition yet. And at the same time, I was like, well, because I'll be at each of these things, I don't think I'll even have time to run by the store to get it. I didn't pre-order it, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I feel so underprepared for Zelda Echoes
You
of
still
Wisdom.
pre-order it.
I guess I could, but I'm just hoping that they have enough.
Get a bonus.
Yeah, that's true. What did you guys get for your bonuses? Did you know?
Well, it didn't come out yet. It comes out Thursday.
They didn't. Right, but they didn't. Did they tell what they're going to have for the bonuses
Yeah,
yet?
I know Best Buy. I think it's either not the pail. I think it's the toad or something. I think it's a toad.
Oh, right. I saw those. Yeah.
Or something. Or no. Best Buy. I think it's a little diorama. I think it's a little diorama, a Zelda diorama, because they did that with Princess Peach. Showtime. They had a little diorama. So.
Nice. I think you were thinking of the Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Yes, I was
the
thinking
toad
of that.
And the pail and the keychain.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, I've seen those.
Best Buy is like a little diorama for Zelda.
Okay. So cool. Yeah, Greg, have you pre-ordered yours?
I did the digital thing. I did like the two vouchers for 100, and then I used one voucher on this one, and then I got the other voucher most likely for Brothership, but to be determined at this point. I haven't used it yet.
Nice. Cool.
Did you know that a brand new version of Monopoly came out today?
I did. Ubisoft sent me a press release about that earlier, and I said, hey, if you want to send over 3 copies for us, we'll cover it on a future game chat, Ubisoft, and just like we did for Uno, get a little update on that. So, they haven't gotten back with me yet, but I did see that.
There's so many games. It's crazy.
What is new in this version?
Supposedly it has like 3D cities or something and enhanced graphics. It's Monopoly. But
this is
they had to re-release it.
If they numbered the Monopoly releases,
the third one on the Switch or something like that.
Yeah, but in general, it's probably Monopoly 74.
Oh yeah.
But you're saying with it having cities and stuff, it sounds like the Monopoly Go that's on mobile that was riddled with microtransactions. But
who knows? We'll see. If they send us review codes, we'll see.
There you go. We will talk about it for sure. Oh man. So next episode 300. We've got a couple weeks between that. So we've got August. Now
you're going backwards.
Oh man, guys, I'm feeling the 15 years is what I'm doing.
You said you wanted to last another 135.
I know. I'm not going to make it till October. At this rate, it's hopeless, guys. It's been a good run. I may not make it to 300. So episode 300, October is where I was going. October 8th is when we'll be recording that. But there are some games coming out over the next couple weeks, as we've talked about already. In addition to the big Nintendo games, we're going to be scrolling the most immediate list, of course, thanks to Metacritic on the screen. But anything coming out over this next couple weeks specifically that you guys are excited to play beyond Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Greg, anything?
Well, I was still kind of scrolling through myself, but I mean, I know we did the game chat on Iron Meat, which is a great game. So that's a brief little callback. You can go check out our game chat on it. We all raved about it. It's like a Contra-like game that's pretty cool to see coming out. I know I'm going to be pretty busy with both Zelda and Epic Mickey. I know Epic Mickey came out before today, but I know that will be one I'll be focusing on, and I'm not really seeing a whole lot of other stuff because I'm sure I'll be more busy with house stuff as also with Zelda as well. So I think those are the main two that stick out to me for before the next podcast.
Nice. How about you, Barry?
Renatus is coming out this week as well. I think it comes out Friday, and I'm interested in giving that a shot, but we'll see because it depends on Zelda, which is the priority, and how long that takes me to beat Zelda, and then if it gets too far into October, there's a bunch of October games that I want, and then it starts to pile up, and then I have to figure out the order to play everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to be continuing with Yars Rising, and then excited to check out Epic Mickey as well. And I'm sorry, I was so excited about the Atari 50 DLC. I'm excited about that as well, and excited to check that out. Maybe I've heard about it before, but I totally forgot about it. So excited to get my hands on that.
You guys got to do Sam and Max too, so we could get those game chats
Yeah,
out.
I'm more excited about Zelda, to be honest. But no, it'd be good, and I am traveling quite a bit over the next few weeks, and so games like Sam and Max are games that I could play on the go, and I think I'm actually excited to play through that, because there's a lot of times I've realized recently that when I get on a plane, like everything else going on, like sometimes I don't want a game that I have to like really focus on doing exact movements and be precision in my jumping and all that other stuff. So a game like Sam and Max, I feel like it's a little more relaxing kind of game. Just enjoy the story itself and everything. So yeah, I am excited to play those as I travel pretty soon.
And I actually did see one other game that just stood out to me. There was like that Double Dragon compilation. So I really like the Double Dragon series, and will probably be picking that one up because I know me and my brother still like to play the NES versions of like 2 and 3, just because we're very much in sync when we're playing those games and able to do like the combos together and stuff, like the doing the spin kicks, cyclone kicks, and stuff.
Cool. Jakester is really excited about Zelda, Epic Mickey, go back to Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, and then still play Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher. And then he's also excited for Dragon Quest 3, Mario and Luigi, and Lego Horizons as well. So yeah, if you haven't let us know what you're excited to play in the next couple weeks, let us know in the live chat right now, or let us know in the comments on the YouTube version after the fact, or hop over into our Discord and let us know what you're going to be playing over the next couple weeks as well. We love interacting with you guys over there. And yeah, that brings us pretty close to the end of episode 299. Again, we just want to remind you, we really want to feature you guys as much as we can in the next episodes. So please be sure to send in your thoughts, your memories, anything that kind of stands out to you, anything you want to share with us. We do ask you that if you do like an audio or video, try to keep it under like 2 minutes so we don't have terribly long videos that we're doing all night long. But we do want to definitely feature you guys as much as we can, because you're, like we say a lot of times, you're the collective fourth person in this podcast. I know you're right, you get to share it with everybody else, but we get to host this for you guys and with you guys. But you're also in this, and we love interacting with you guys in the comments and the live chat. We love talking with you guys in the Discord in between episodes and on social media and everything. And we want to celebrate this with you. So 15 years. We do know that there's going to be some giveaways and some other things happening, and some familiar faces that have been from the past that we'll also be able to see on the podcast on the next episode as well. So yeah, excited to talk through all of that on the next one. Heads up as well that we'll talk about some Nintendo news that might happen over the next couple weeks on the next show, but there'll be a lot of nostalgia and kind of talking, looking back at the past on the next episode as well. So if you've been with us for a long time, this should be a fun chat and going down memory lane a little bit. So yeah, thank you guys to both of you, Barry and Greg, of course. Like, always great to talk video games with you. Barry, anything big going on other than getting ready for our 15th year anniversary?
Yeah, I'm in the middle right now of putting the final touches on the next Premium Edition Direct. I am working. I've been talking with developers and getting some clips in, and we're talking with my editor soon and getting the script out there. But Still in the drafting phase, but prepare for that next month. So I'm trying to at least have that first full draft done before Zelda drops, so that I could enjoy Zelda without in the back of my mind go, I still need to finish that. But that of course, and then spending time with my wonderful child, who is going to be 15 months tomorrow. Tomorrow will be 15 months, which it doesn't feel like it. It's insane that is a thing, and he is just getting bigger and crazier and funnier every day. So that that that's like the highlight of everything. Just spending time with him and watching him grow and learn. So that's a busy enough time for 2 weeks with Zelda on top of it.
Nice. Kajimi says, I have Thursday and Friday off this week. Oh man, that's perfect timing. Perfect timing. That'd be exciting. Greg, other than kind of getting your house in order and all that stuff, any other things exciting, or is that enough excitement for the next couple weeks?
It pretty much is enough excitement because, like I said, I have like a TV that I'll be hooking up here in the office that I can hook up all my consoles to, including like my Zelda Switch and everything like that too. So it's a lot of fun getting everything all fully organized. Like a lot of the other rooms are pretty much done. I just have like my office, and then we still have a little bit more to do in like the basement and stuff like that. Finalize putting stuff away, but feels like it should be in a really good spot over possibly even before the next podcast. So I'm hoping to be able to jump into some games to play, especially Zelda and Epic Mickey, and there'll be a lot more fun stuff to come out over this season we just discussed. So
cool. Yeah, I'll be getting ready for travel. It'd be like right before like next episode is going to drop, and then I'll be off to California and different parts of Colorado, and then eventually in the next month I'll be in Atlanta and back to California, and I'll be traveling all over the country the next couple months. But yeah, excited to get in some game time before next episode, and yeah, it'd be exciting. Looking forward to celebrating 15 years with you guys in just a couple weeks. Excited to share with all of you, our listeners, our community as well. I'm speaking before we have anything planned, but I actually might be hanging out with Hassan pretty soon too. He's out here for a conference and for work, and so we may actually get to see each other. Yeah. So
Barry let him out of the basement to travel out by Steve. Look at that.
He did. He's like, hey,
I was feeling nice.
You get a few days off to go hang out with Steve in Denver. So yeah, looking forward to seeing him as well, and maybe you'll see him on the next podcast as well. So, but 299 is in the books, guys. The next time we talk officially on this podcast, we will be 15 years old on episode 300. Moving on to the 300 era, I guess. Taylor Swift does eras. We do eras here on NintendoFuse Podcast. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I may not even make it to October at this rate. I'm just talking nonsense, but we're so grateful that you guys joined us. If you have not subscribed on your favorite podcast app or here on YouTube or on Twitch as well, please be sure to subscribe to us, follow us, share us with other Nintendo gamers that you think would also enjoy this kind of content. And we'll see you next time on episode 300, celebrating 15 years of the NintendoFuse Podcast. Happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you next time.